Hello, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another reading vlog where I'm gonna be reading Assassin's Quest. So Assassin's Quest is the third and last book of the Farseer Trilogy, which is the first series of the Realm of the Elderlings series, which is epic fantasy. And I have reading vlogs for books 1 and 2 of this series that I will link in the description if you haven't watched those and want to watch them before watching this one. I will also link a playlist up there. And I enjoyed book 1, but I loved book 2, and especially the ending was so exciting, so anxiety inducing. I was so nervous, on the edge of my seat. It was so intense that I was so excited to get into this one. And I just want to say that there are definitely spoilers for what happens in this book in this reading vlog. And having said that, let's just get into it. Okay, so I am on page 286 of Assassin's Quest, and that is about a third into the book. And Fitz has been living with Burrich since he got back into his body at the end of book 2. And he, even though he's back in his body, he's still very much thinking like a wolf, and he doesn't really remember his life. He doesn't remember even how to be human. And so Burrich is kind of like teaching him how to be himself again. And Shade also visits them frequently. And after some months, Fitz finally starts remembering things, starts knowing how to be human, and basically becomes himself again. And he kind of wants to push Burrich and Shade away from him, and so he says some very hurtful things, and it was so painful. It really broke my heart. I did not like that at all. And so Shade leaves, and then Burrich leaves as well, and basically Burrich is leaving Fitz to kind of get his shit together. And once Fitz is alone, not alone, Night Eyes is there with him. Once he is just with Night Eyes, he decides that he is going to kill Regal. And as Fitz is on his way to go kill Regal, he realizes that everything is, a lot worse. The whole kingdom, I guess, is falling apart. After Regal became the king, everything with the red ships and the forged people, everything is a lot worse. And he also learns that Regal is hunting down Shade and wants to kill him, and he is also hunting down a man and wolf pair, so he must know that Fitz is alive, and he is offering a very big reward to whoever can find Fitz. And he also meets some other people who have the wit, and one of them was bonded to a bear, I think, and the other I don't remember. But basically they tell Fitz some more about the wit, and the man tells him that, when he's ready to go back there to just learn more about that ability that he has. Oh, and Night Eyes finds other wolves and he goes off with them. And Fitz encourages it because he's never really lived with other wolves, because he was rescued by Fitz from another person. And he's just been living with Fitz. So yeah, it definitely encourages Night Eyes to go live with those wolves, to actually know what it's like to be a wolf and have a pack and all of that. And then Fitz finds, he thinks that he finds an opportunity to kill Regal, and he starts spreading poison where he thinks Regal's room is. But then he realizes that everything was an illusion created by Will, who is one of Regal's men. And he's kind of like caught, he's trapped, but then Verity, using the skill through Fitz, kind of like helps free him. And then through the skill as well, Verity tells Fitz to go to him. And the only thing that Fitz really knows is that Verity is like across the Mountain Kingdom. And he is on his way there and he meets some other people, and he also like skills to see Molly, and he sees that she's pregnant. And I don't think I mentioned this in the video for book 2, but from what she told him the last time they were together, it was so obvious that she was pregnant, and the fact that he didn't understand that just baffles me. And also he sees that Burrage is there with her, which was also pretty obvious to me when Burrage said that he was leaving Fitz to go to someone who needed him. I was like, yeah, that has to be Molly. And it is. And so when Fitz is on his way to the mountains, he meets a minstrel who is called Starling, and she wants to accompany Fitz because she knows, like, she realizes who he is, and she wants to write like a great song. And so she thinks that by following him, she will have that great song. And that gave me like Jaskier Geralt vibes, and I love it. And that is where I'm at. And yeah, I feel like we are moving very slowly. Not a lot of action is happening, but I am enjoying it. I mean, what I didn't enjoy was like that hurtful conversation Fitz had with Shaden Burrage. That really broke my heart. Like, I love Fitz, but I hated that. And I'm also sad that like Night Eyes left. Like I said, Fitz definitely encouraged it, and I'm happy for Night Eyes that he's experiencing what it is like to be a wolf, be part of a pack, have other wolf friends. Like, I'm happy for him, but I am sad for Fitz. And in terms of Starling, the new character, we haven't really gotten that much from her, but so far I'm liking her, I think. And yeah, I don't think I have anything else to say. And yeah, like, it's moving slowly, but I am enjoying it, and I will read another third and let you know what I'm thinking about it. Okay, so I am on page 566, and Fitz skills to see Molly, and Burrage is there as well, obviously, and he learns that Burrage thinks that Fitz is dead because Burrage must have gone back to the cabin where he was living with Fitz, and he must have found the dead body that was wearing Fitz's clothes. And I don't think I mentioned this in my previous update, but before Fitz left the cabin, he was attacked by some forged ones, and one of them was wearing Fitz's clothes, and Fitz killed him. So there was a dead body with Fitz's clothes there. And so Burrage now thinks that Fitz is like dead for real. And Starling overhears someone saying that there is someone who can smuggle people to the mountains, and so she tells that to Fitz, and they go talk to those people and basically join their group. And Night Eyes appears and joins Fitz again, and while they are like with those people who are being smuggled to the mountains, they are caught, I guess, by some of Regal's guards, I think, and Fitz is imprisoned, and Starling and Night Eyes create a distraction to be able to free Fitz. And then they do reach the Mountain Kingdom, and that's like, the Mountain Kingdom is Ketrican's home. That's where she was born, and that's where she is again. So she's there, Shade is there, and the Fool is there as well, and they all kind of reunite with Fitz. And they learn about, I think it's Starling who tells them that Fitz has a child, and Kettrican has lost her own child, and so they want to use Fitz's baby to pretend that she is Kettrican and Verity's child and to be the like Farseer heir. And Fitz is understandably not okay with that. But yeah, like Verity's gone. Kettrican doesn't think that she's gonna be able to have another child with him because like no one really knows where he is. Like he went out looking for the elderlings and is gone. And so she cannot promise Fitz that she will not use his child. But like I said, Fitz is definitely not okay with that. And then they go out looking for Verity. Like Fitz, Kettrican, the Fool, Starling, and Kettle, who is another person that was in their group of people who are going to the mountains, and obviously Night Eyes. And when they are like on their way past the Mountain Kingdom towards where Verity is supposed to be, like Fitz is acting very strangely. Like he can't focus. He's not like he's in a dreamlike state. He can't focus. He can't remember what he was thinking a second ago. He can't really have a conversation with anyone, and he thinks that the road that they are following was created using the skill. And then Kettle says that that road specifically and things that are like created with the skill can be dangerous for people who have the skill but are not properly trained in it. So people like Fitz. And Kettle knows so much about the skill, and I'm so intrigued like who she is and how she knows all of that and like everything about her. And she even like gave Fitz a game for him to focus on instead of thinking about the skill and about skilling to Molly and Burrich and, just using the skill in general. And yeah, like I said, I am so interested and intrigued and confused about her. And yeah, that is where I am at. And once again, like not a lot of things have happened. It's still very slow. And obviously, like more things happen than the ones I talked about. I just mentioned the things that I think are like the major events. And like I'm very concerned about Fitz, but at the same time, it's so interesting and entertaining to like see his strange behavior with that road and the skill. Like it's very, very entertaining. And like I said, I am very intrigued about Kettle and who she is. And also the Fool is also very intrigued about Kettle. And it was great to see the Fool again. And like Kettrican, it was good to see her again. But I am having like very mixed feelings about her. Because like on the one hand, I understand what she is doing, like why she wants Fitz's child. But at the same time, like it's Fitz's child, just leave the poor baby alone. And like speaking of the baby, like we get to see some scenes of Burrich and Molly and the baby through Fitz's, like when he skills to them. And I just love Burrich so much. Like he is everything. And yeah, I can't wait to find Verity and like see what he has been up to this whole time that he, like since he went out looking for the elderlings. What has he been doing? Where is he? Like, I am very intrigued, very interested. I am still very much enjoying it. Like I said, very slow, but very interesting. I am still enjoying it. And yeah, I will finish it and let you know what happened. Okay, so I have finished Assassin's Quest, and while the whole group is still looking for Verity, they realize that they are being followed by Regal's people, and Fitz and Night Eyes go after those, and they, like the people who can skill are not in like the campsite, but the guards are, so they kill the guards, and then they get back to the rest of the group. And when they get back, Will, which is one of the guys who can skills to Verity and lets him know that he knows about Molly and the baby. And then when they're already with the group, Kettle tells Fitz like kind of her story, and that she killed someone using the skill and was exiled for it. And that's why she knows so much about the skill. And then they find like what seems to be dragons carved in stone, but Fitz, through the wit, can sense that they are alive, so they're not stone. They are like sleeping beings. And then the Fool and Fitz become like skill bonded. And then after a while, the Fool starts asking Fitz a lot of questions about Molly and the baby and like where they are. And for me, like, I was reading that and I was thinking, it's so obvious that it's not actually the Fool asking those questions, because like, why would they want to know so much, like all the details of where Molly and the baby are? Like, what's the point? What is the purpose? There is no reason why the Fool would want to know that. And so for me, it was pretty obvious that it was like Will or someone else from Regal's coterie trying to get information from Fitz. And even after that, like when the Fool told Fitz that they didn't remember asking any of those questions, Fitz didn't realize that it was, suspicious. And so, like, why is he like that? But anyway, moving on, they find Verity, and Verity seems to have been in that place for like decades, even though it's just been months, because he just looks so much older than he is, and just, ended really. And he basically tells them, and they realize that he has been like carving one of those dragons and has been feeding it his memories, and like he's like the feelings attached to those memories. And like he's kind of a shell of a person. He doesn't remember a lot of the things that he lived. Like at first he didn't even remember that Catrican was pregnant, that they were gonna have a child. And like the feelings, he doesn't really feel anything for anyone almost. And basically, like once he's finished carving and once he's finished giving the dragon all of his memories and feelings, it will like come to life. And like that dragon, those dragons, they're like sleeping. They are the elderlings. And then Kettle joins Verity in like creating the dragon, the elderling. And Fitz then skills to Molly, even though he shouldn't. And he sees that Molly and Burridge have basically like fallen in love with each other in that time they have spent together, and because they think that Fitz is dead. And, he's kind of having some mixed feelings about it, because on the one hand, he still loves Molly, but on the other hand, like, he knows that she will be safer with Burridge, and, he hopes that those two people that he loves will be happy together, and that, he feels kind of like they will be better off without him and just with each other. And then he and Verity, I think they like switch bodies, because Verity, like his arms are covered in magic kind of, and he can't really touch people without infecting them. So they switch bodies for Verity to like spend a last night with Ketrican, so they can actually have an heir and not have to use Fitz's child. And then he and Kettle get back to work on the dragon, and they finish the dragon, the elderling, and it comes to life. And then Verity like kind of gave his life for the dragon, and then they fly back to Buckkeep, and the others like they stay there and they fight the rest of Regal's men. And Fitz could have killed Regal through the skill, but he decided to basically like imprint loyalty in him for Fitz and also for Ketrican and her child. And then we get, it's not labeled as prologue, but it is kind of a prologue because it's years later, and we basically get to know what has been happening to everyone. And so Fitz is taking care of a boy who Starling found and brought to him, so kind of has like an adopted son. And Molly and Burridge have more children, and they both still think that Fitz is dead. Ketrican has had a son, and Shade is her advisor. And I think no one really knows exactly what happened to the Fool, because they went to the palace with Ketrican and Shade and all those people, I think, but then like no one knows where the Fool is right now. And that is how it ended. And let's just jump into my final thoughts. Okay, so starting off with the characters and starting off with Fitz, like I absolutely love him. I love following him in these 3 books, seeing like just how much he changed, like basically watching him grow up. I absolutely love him, but why is he so dumb? Like there's so many things that were obvious that he didn't realize, like Molly being pregnant, Burrage going to see Molly, then the Fool being used to get the information from him. Like, I love him, but he could use some more brain cells. But moving on, Burrage, I absolutely love Burrage. He is everything. I love him so much, and like seeing his interactions with the like Fitz and Molly's child, like so fucking adorable. I love him so much. Then Starling, I mostly liked her. She did some things that were kind of, not great, but overall I liked her. And Kettle, she was a very interesting and intriguing character, and I also mostly really liked her. The Fool, I also like absolutely love, and I know that there are gonna be more books with Fitz and the Fool, and like I can't wait for that because I want to know what the Fool is up to, like what is happening. I am dying to know, and I love them. I love their interactions. I love everything about the Fool and Fitz, and like I love them as separate people, and I love their interactions together, and yeah, can't wait for those books. And finally, I think Verity, I felt so bad for Verity, like everything he went through, everything he gave up, I just kind of broke my heart, and I really like him. And like I feel like that happened a lot in this book. It was really sad, like it made me sad in a lot of scenes. Like right at the beginning when Fitz was being, very hurtful to Burrage and Shade, and then just the whole of Verity's plot in this book was just heartbreaking. And in terms of, I guess, the pacing, it was pretty slow, just like the previous book, but I still enjoyed it very much. And unfortunately, there wasn't like as much drama as in the previous book, but it was still very fun. And I was also like pretty nervous and anxious, especially in the last third. And yeah, I mostly really enjoyed it. And I feel like, the ending wasn't as, like wow as the second book, because the ending of the second book was like intense. In that one, I was on the edge of my seat, way too nervous and anxious, and yeah. And yeah, this one definitely wasn't, as intense as that one, but I still really enjoyed it. And I am giving this book 4 stars. And so that is everything for this week's video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, give it a like and subscribe, and I will talk to you next time. Bye!